Okay, so I'm ready. I'll give you a countdown. On go. 3, 2, 1, go. Cool thing about this game is you can skip cutscenes. All of them. And I did a little bit of menuing there. Kind of, if you can really call it menuing. I decided, instead of selecting the world with the A button, I pressed the B button to go back to the file select, and then I went back in and I selected the stage from there. Doing that allows me to skip a short little animation of Bomberman flying to the planet. It only works on the first world. Overall saves about a second. The task doesn't have it, which is unfortunate, because it'll have to be remade. This is a bit of a tough stage. Give me a second. Yep, I've been screwing this up immensely lately. That's okay. Also, a lot of my muscle memory is a bit thrown off recently, because I've been riding 100%. So hopefully things don't go too poorly. Oops. It has been a hot minute. Once I get past the first world, everything should be fine in terms of movement and all that. But you'll see me dropping a lot of bombs here and there. And dropping bombs has... There are a few mechanics in play whenever I'm dropping a bomb. There are two airspeeds when you jump. Normally you'll see me, which is the full airspeed, which is this. But there's another one where I am not locked in my momentum whatsoever, but I don't move very fast. And if I drop a bomb during that, I instantly transition to the fast move speed. Like right there, that was the slow move speed, and you saw it. Maybe if you're paying attention, his arms weren't like outstretched or anything. And just dropping a bomb ensures you're at the full speed, so I did that while jumping from the yellow platform there. This game isn't the most complex speedrun. It's a bit of a simple 3D platformer. But through that, a lot of the small time saves and very tiny optimizations can be shown, and that makes it kind of interesting. Perhaps more so if you're actually running the game. But for example, I will be doing I'll be doing a small trick here multiple times throughout this stage, doable in all of the water stages, of which we do 3, I think. Right there, I make Bomberman fall off the ledge a tiny bit, and it boosts him forward, because otherwise you'll be colliding with the wall, and it just ejects you outward, because that's how the collision works. If you've ever watched the SM64 wall collision videos by Pan and Koic, you'll probably understand that mechanic really well. It's the same thing here. So in these otherwise auto-scroller stages, you go around doing this to save time. And the ledges that you fall off of perpendicularly, you gain a little bit more distance than the ones that are diagonal, like this one. So this stage's route isn't entirely optimized through that, but that's because some of the enemies move a little randomly, and it's a bit difficult to get it consistent. This is a bit tough, squeezing between those two dudes. Just a bit of a small skip. There are a handful of stages where you just skip like the entire stage. That said, a lot of the stages aren't very big to begin with. That right there is the first occurrence of, if I jump from the ledge at the last possible frame, then I can skip having to grab a ledge. which saves about half a second or so. Those daggers spawn a little randomly. You can squeeze between them sometimes, but not reliably. There was a little bit of RNG in this. Not too much. Unfortunately, the bosses, especially this guy, can be manipulated. A lot of the bosses can, anyway. Not all of them. But just based on where I'm standing and my distance from him, and the tiles on the ground he has to cross through, I can manipulate his actions so that I can get this fight completely consistent every time I do it. And that's true for pretty much all 5 of the times that I fight him. I fight him once in each of the 5 worlds. His name is Nitros. Probably the toughest stage to do well here. Let's see how well I can do it. Yeah, that happens a lot. The reason I stood still there before jumping and dropping that bomb is to manipulate the position of the fireball from the little turret guy. It just lets me jump around without getting hit by it. It's a little difficult. There is a skip here that I could go for, but I won't. It's jumping around the right side of the wall. In normal runs, I do go for it, but failure means death, so I won't be going for it. It saves only about 4 seconds or so. So in a marathon environment, it's not entirely worth going for. It's not exactly easy. Here we have the first boss, End All. I'm going to be taking 2 hits of damage here intentionally to reset his vulnerability frames. You'll notice as soon as I get hit, I can hit him again. True only for this boss. That's really sloppy, but that's okay. And here I'm going to reset the console to skip a few things. Some cutscenes, bonus world, and the game relaying my scores for each of the stages in this world. And it's because of that if you run on Virtual Console, you lose a lot of time. So ideally, I'll be coming into this world with 2 hearts. Well, I got hit in Great Rock, which is that great vertical stage. So I will be picking this up. Because in this next stage here, there's a strategy that requires getting nice and cozy right up next to an enemy by the exit. Okay, I won't be doing it because I got hit. Those bubbles spawn a little randomly. It sucks. Okay, I'm gonna take my time here just so that I don't die. I can jump around this guy, but I don't want to risk it. Unfortunate. Ideally, I would have jumped around the right side of those dudes. Just grab the ledge, but it's tough. This second world is definitely the hardest in the speedrun because it's just got a bunch of precise, not very lenient strategies. Yeah, if there's one thing that people consistently say about this game is The soundtrack is really, really good. Even though it only has like 3 or 4 songs. Most people's favorite song is Redial. And that's the one that you hear the most. I think the best song is the one that plays during the credits. I never got to hear that when I was a kid, because on English, and I'm playing on Japanese, in English, all of the bosses have about twice as much health, so I was never able to really beat the final boss when I was a kid, so I never got to hear the music that plays during the credits. Sorry, this stage is really boring. Yeah, recently a lot of people have started to run this game. At least a lot more people. We've had a few community projects, like the Community Summer Best, which I didn't know was a thing that people did. From the jail level and the desert stages. Huh. Oops. Sometimes when I'm mashing my controller, kind of like extends the inputs. I believe it's because the adapter I use. I play with GameCube controller because I don't have any N64 controllers that are really usable. I'm not the biggest believer of adapters being legal, but they're legal, so I'll use them. I don't quite remember what the music is in that jail level. That level is a bit difficult, and I'm usually focusing on the strategy. This one's also a little difficult. It's got some neat movement right here. By dropping the bomb there, I delay the game considering Bomberman having touched the floor. And because of that, the effect of gravity continues to compound. So when I finally slide off the side, I kind of just zoom downward. Oh, it's a really slow hip-hop one. Yeah. I know that one, yeah. Little trick here if I can get it. Nice, I got it. That saves a huge chunk of time, especially getting it first try. And I threw a bomb at the wall and ran into it, because if you bounce onto the warp platform while in a damaged state, you won't actually teleport. Come on. Play it a little safe here with the movement, because this is a tough stage. Most of the time I come here, I'm sitting here with like 1 or 2 bits of health. This world is scary. It's very difficult, and it's also the most random one. And again, this is Nitros. We can be manipulated to do whatever we want. And I have to hit him while he's jumping at me, as opposed to when he's just running along the ground, because it skips a little animation where he sits on the ground and his head sort of spins around and stars appear over him. And that entire sequence takes like 5 seconds or so, killing him when he's jumping is a really big time save. Ordinarily, I'd be getting the golden heart that's in the box right there. But I have a lot of extra health. So I won't be getting it. For the sake of speed. Nice. I didn't even get hit at the end there. Yeah, Nitro Sustain. That one's called Tripod. I always thought it was pretty good. The reason the health management in this world is so scary is because the final stage in this is a boss that's pretty random. He can just like come very close to hitting you just for no real reason. Not the most enjoyable experience fighting a World 2 boss. These guys can kind of be right in the way too. Oh, I missed the switch. That's okay. Expertly dodges my bombs while flying directly at me. This is by far the worst fight I've had with him in forever. He's just really random. Can I get an XD in the chat, please, for how freaking random that was? That sucked. Oh yeah, the spikes sound like lasers. The sound design of this game is quite interesting. It's definitely something. There was a heart to be picked up here. I didn't realize that the heart was here for the longest time, but it's just sitting right back here. You can find it by moving the camera angle up. I was screwing around one day and I was like, wait a second, what is that? And I've been running this game for 4, maybe even close to 5 years. On and off, like nowhere near consistently. It's really interesting to find. Speaking of that, in English, not only are the bosses harder, a lot of the items are moved around as well. And the score requirements, like this stage requires 6,000. In English, it might require something like 7,000. The point requirements in each stage are generally higher in English. So the game itself is really just more difficult. Come on. Jump, dude. Okay. Well, I got the fast version of that where I bounce over it. So it's not too bad. Instead of bouncing on top. Because I can't move until I'm done bouncing. So if I bounce over it, I can bounce myself into the exit. So as soon as I can start moving, I just finish the stage. That version of the trick kind of saves a second or so. But here's a jail level you're talking about. Yeah, this one. Yeah. This is a good one. This song. quite chill. Okay, I don't really know what I was going for there, because that wasn't the strategy at all. I was trying to go for a safe strat, and then I realized I had moved too far to use any sort of safe strat. It's a little goofy. But hey, the last world record actually died in that stage, so it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's whatever. Yeah, the record still has plenty of room for improvement. I'd say realistically about 20 seconds or so. My visual cues are failing me. That's not to say that the record is bad. There's just a bunch of really small stuff you can do here and there that makes a trick, or that makes a stage significantly more difficult, but just a little bit faster. Now, ideally, I'll be getting hit by, yeah, okay, there's a guy right there, so I'll get hit to knock myself out. I have low health, should be coming in here with full health, so I will not be getting hit here. I should have kept myself beneath the platform so that I wouldn't waste time falling to the ground. And I can hit these spikes, but again, I want to have full health, or at least not low health. Because there's a bit of a close encounter on this next stage. Sometimes that guy can appear right at the edge of that platform. You can, even when he's there, you can get past him without getting hit. It's not that big a deal. But I'd rather just not die. Yeah, in English you do have to kill pretty much everything and get pretty much everything in this stage. It sucks. That's why I decided, you know what, I'm gonna run Japanese where you don't really have to do that. Japanese 100%, that is, because the requirement. Okay. That was... I just got warped to the bottom of the stage. That happens sometimes. Don't really know why it happens. I think it has something to do with like a weird control stick angle. Fuck. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to swear there. Usually I don't get hit. I try not to swear in marathons. Just getting a bit into the run, because seeing me warp to the bottom of the screen was pretty exciting. Because I don't see it too often. If you do this properly, and those things move kind of randomly. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. This isn't gonna work. Oh, it did work. Cool. If you manage to destroy all of those pillars and dispel the barrier, you can throw a bomb at him with pretty precise timing. And it'll hit him right before he starts moving. Let me do this real quick. It'll hit him right before he starts moving. And as he starts moving, his invulnerability gets reset. And since your explosion is still there, it hits him twice. You can do that in the third fight, right there, and again in the fifth fight. But it's a little precise, hitting all of the all of the pillars. Yeah, no, the flying knife enemies in this game are a real pain in 100% because they can just fly in and just destroy themselves. You don't get the points for them. Right, but it's fast to kill them. It's just a real pain. Yeah, for 100%, you need to get a 5 in every level, including the levels in the 6th world, and that implies getting the little ADOC bombs. You can see one in the distance back there on the top of the screen. I can't really move the camera to show it better. But you need to get all those to unlock the 6th world. It's right there. The little blue thing. Here's the first time we see the salt bombs, which are used to kill the slug enemies. And nothing more. Very interesting power-up. Sometimes in that last stage you can get unlucky and have a slug be right at the ledge. So right as you climb up, it just hits you and either kills you because you're at 1 health for whatever reason, or it knocks you back down into the pit because you weren't expecting it. I'm not really selling this game too well as a fun, engaging speedrun, but it is. There's just a handful of small things that can go wrong every once in a while. I really, really do love this game because I've taken like 3 or 4 breaks from speedrunning this game just for various reasons because I moved on to other things like Mystical Ninja Story and Goemon or whatever. Or Left 4 Dead, all that. But I just keep coming back because it's just a really simple with like enough depth to where like I can watch someone run the game and I can be like, if they say I don't know why I'm not getting this trick, I can be like, oh, you're holding right a little bit too early or whatever. There's just enough depth to keep me coming back to it. And the music. Let me tell you. If a really engaging speedrun has bad music, you're probably not going to come back to it. Music is very important for a speedrun's longevity. You can do this in 2 pushes, and I think... No, I didn't get it. I'm going to keep pushing just in case I did, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Yeah, I failed. I think there's maybe 2 frames of leniency on that 2 push. Perhaps. And yeah, Goemon. See, when I say also I never throw a bomb at that guy there while jumping over to this. I'm not really sure why I did, but Goemon's a prime example of music helping its longevity, because you just get screwed over by the most random crap in that run just because the camera decides to like not function and you literally can't see where you are. But the music's so good, so like you just keep running it. That said, nothing like that really happens in this game, except you can get kind of unlucky. Oh. Whoops. If you move there too quickly, you can actually run past this little green warp thing before it'll start sucking you up. I realized that the other day. This boss can actually be manipulated if you stand in the appropriate spots. That said, I didn't manipulate him to walk away, at least I wasn't trying to. But if you stand in the same spots as I did during that fight, you'll get the same fight every time. That apparently wasn't universally known in the running community of this game, because I did a marathon run just last weekend. And one of the runners was in the chat, and he was like, "Oh wait, you have that consistent?" I was like, "Oh, yeah. Whoops." Sometimes you just don't realize that people have troubles with things, because I've just been doing that strat for like 3 years or so. But anyway, this is Louis. You can wall jump. You can also backwards wall jump. It's a bit of an exploit. I'll be using that in a later stage, Storm Valley. Louis is really cool. If you guys have ever seen Bomberman Fantasy Race, it's a really cool speed run, at least. I've never seen it casually. But you're just like riding around on those big bunny dudes. Just having a gay old time. And this is a stage that's a bit cycle based. So my screwed up movement there doesn't matter too much. Because I will have to wait for the top guy, yeah. This one, to extend his neck. So I only lost a little bit of time there, despite the sloppiness of it all. There are a bunch of small things in this game that sometimes frustrate me because I can't get it consistent. Like, sometimes the ice block thrown by the monkey that I just passed, sometimes it just shatters. It just shatters as soon as he throws it. And if I could get that consistent, I could just jump over the monkey, right? But I don't know what causes it. Whether it's like float values, blah blah blah. Again, I'm not... Oh, oops. Not really selling this game too well. This is Storm Valley. I screwed up the trick. That's okay. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just flub it. I mess it up again. I'm just gonna go for the backup. Man. Yeah, those are the backwards wall jumps I was talking about. I haven't practiced this in a little bit. I was gonna practice it, but they put my run a little bit earlier. Not pointing fingers, I should have been practicing it anyway. This is one of 2 snowboard stages in the game. The mechanics behind going fast in this are a bit of a mystery to me. Oh my god. Really don't know why I got hit by that first guy there, and it's kind of messing up the rest of the stage. Every time, how to go fast in this stage is explained to me, it's like, oh, that's a lot of work to figure out how to save like a few frames in this one dumb stage, you know? Really not the best speedrun mentality, but hey, sometimes even the best runners succumb to laziness. No, I'm just joking. I don't even have the record. Record's held by Squid, who's currently quite handicapped. He has a bandage wrapped around his right hand for 2 weeks or so that's 2 weeks for me to try to get the record without any sort of retaliation, so I'm gonna be trying my little gamer heart out. This boss is a bit interesting, kind of. Watching him, it's not very interesting because you just circle around like that. But if you hit his heads instead of the weak spot, he'll cover up his weak spot with his claws. And just waste a ton of time. But yeah, that's an auto-scroller level, and the only time to be saved is in doing that fight a little optimally. This is Eye Snake. It's a scary stage. Already feel my heart rate increasing. Because you cannot see your shadow. So it's a bit difficult to tell where you are. I've just developed a few visual cues on where to jump. I can definitely save time by optimizing those. I could probably save like an entire second or so, but that stage is so scary. And odds are, if you get to this point in the run, you're probably like gonna finish, unless something goes horribly wrong. Okay. Alright. I don't have this strat down too well. Like I said, you can manipulate him consistently, but I just don't have this strat down perfectly. Yeah, no, that truly is the Rainbow Road. Right here we have 0G Room, which has a unique stage mechanic where it will reduce your gravity, but in doing so, it'll also slow down the speed of your animations, including your ledge grab animation, significantly so. So you have to be very careful not to screw up anything. Because a ledge grab animation, which normally takes about half a second, will take 2, maybe even 3 seconds. I'm gonna fall short there. I could have fallen all the way off, but the acceleration would have been so great that I couldn't have landed on that platform that I did just then. And here's Mirror Room. I'm gonna try to get this pillar jump. It's tough. This is the hardest stage in the game, but it's very fun. If you really enjoy optimizing stages, then this is a really fun one. Also, if you really enjoy not grabbing ledges, this is a good one too. Yeah, after this, it kind of poofs me out in the select area. It's faster to just go back to the file select, or the stage select rather. Try to get. Okay. Are any of those hitting him? Come on. There's a unique mechanic with the spider guy there where, well, it's not really a mechanic, it's kind of just an exploit where if multiple explosions hit him at once, they all do damage. And it is, again, unique to him. It'd be cool if it wasn't unique to just him, but it makes it a little difficult because it's not very reliable. Also, I lost time because she decided to backflip twice and then jump up and all that. And that's the worst fight in the game in terms of randomness. And here's the boss rush, the essential boss rush in any good speed game. Getting hit's not the worst because in the Nitros fight, I get healed at the end of it, along with getting my firepower and bomb count restored. Also put that card right there. Okay, so here's Cronus again. I have another chance to get a multi-hit. So I'm gonna try to. It's very difficult to do. Yeah. I didn't get it, but maybe I can get one here. I believe I did. I believe I hit him twice there. I did. He takes 6 hits. Coming in this fight with only 1 heart is a little frightening, but if I get the fast strat. And I didn't. Okay, I'm assuming he's just gonna. I knew he was gonna kick bombs, but I didn't think about the explosions. Foolish. Like I said, he restores your health and gives you full firepower on bombs, so it's not the worst thing. Of course, you don't want to die, but this is the worst thing when the bombs just don't hit him. It's a timing thing, why he's not getting hit. This is a really, really bad fight. I did a bit of manipulation there. The very first part of the fight is consistent, and I managed to make the second Nadia clone, that was actually really, really fast. The second Nadia clone just run at me, and she stopped right on the bomb, which made the bomb explode as soon as she was vulnerable. It's a very, very cute piece of optimization for that fight. And that's about as good as you can get it. This guy's treating me well. If there's a bomb on the field, he tends to teleport away. Yeah. Also, if he's too close, he'll teleport. So he can teleport really just like right next to you several times in a row and just lose you a bunch of time because of RNG. There is a way to tell which one's the real one here. It doesn't seem to always happen, but the little dust clouds. It's this one. No? Man. How long have you been running this game, did you say? 4, maybe 5 years? Shucks. Yeah, the dust cloud seems to appear at a different time for the real one than it does for the fake one, but not always. I don't think it's an intended mechanic for you to be able to see. I've never been too good at hitting those arms. That's okay. Get ready on time, by the way. We recently changed the time. Normally it would be there. We recently changed the point time. We recently changed it to be right there so that it lines up with like all the other splits, which everyone uses. And yeah, double Nadia, that's quite a treat. But it used to be that we hit the final split on the last hit of the third phase of this boss. Which makes sense because there's no meaningful inputs after that, but you can like take a hit and have your bomb travel to him and deal the final blow, and technically that's the last hit to the boss, and blah blah blah. And of course you have to like really reach over to your split key and hit it quick. But it's better to just have it there. Adds 6.5 seconds to each time. It's no big deal. I just went through the leaderboard and did it manually. Also made it line up with 100% timing. But yeah, that's Bomberman Hero. Wasn't really the best showcase of it. A few silly mistakes, and I, again, wasn't selling it too well. It is a really fun game to run. Especially when you're really in the zone, and I've been a bit busy, so I haven't really been able to get into the zone with this game a whole lot, but... Alright, check this out. In English, he says, "I envy you." In Japanese, it looks like he says a lot more. I don't really know what he's saying, but... Oh yeah, better to have like a real showing of Iconoclasts than like a real choppy one, because that game does look cool. I've never seen it before. I was excited to watch it. So if he's ready, there's not much left to show here except for it says the end, and then it'll go to the credits, which is the best song in the game.